our webinar this month for Iowa Mentor. We're going to talk about recruitment, particularly empowering your current mentors to recruit, and also how to use the National Mentoring Month campaign. So I'm Mary Shika, and also Tony Lampley from Iowa Mentor is on the call, and she will be helping present as well.
Hi there, you guys.
So this is what we'll be covering today. And we'll be starting with a reminder about the Power of Relationships report that came out from Mentor a few years back. It was a nationwide survey asking adults how and why American adults step up and to mentor the nation's youth. And it's the most comprehensive picture we have of what adults really think about mentoring kids who are not their own. I will put that link in the chat. I'm going to put several links. You'll have the slides also after the webinar. We'll send the slides out as well, but I want you to have these so you can look at them or have them up, pull them up in your browser as well. Unfortunately, I have lost the chat. Tony, can you put those in chat, please, from the
yes,
notes? Thanks.
I sure can.
So the most exciting finding from the Power of Relationships report is that mentoring is something that unites us, which feels pretty positive in these times. I will point out that this research, the survey was done in 2018. So it was before COVID. I don't know that that would really change things. I think that maybe highlighted even more importantly. We talked about people recognize even more how much connections matter. But 2/3 of the adults consider it highly important for young people to have mentors, and there's broad-based support for public and private investment in mentoring. So I think that's a real positive takeaway from this survey. So the reason we're talking about this today is this insights into what adults think about mentoring can help you in your recruitment strategy, just to show you that there is the interest for folks to mentor, and what are some of their motivations for mentoring, and so we can use those in our marketing and our outreach. So almost 49% of the American population is either currently a structured mentor, and by structured mentor, they mean in programs such as yours where you match young people with adults, or they'd be willing to consider it. An additional 20% would consider informal mentoring only, meaning that they would be matched in a program that might be a coach or working in some kind of other after school program or youth serving program, working with young people, but there wouldn't be a one-to-one match. So a lot of information here on this graph, and I know it might be a little bit hard to see on the screen, but again, we will be sending out the slides afterwards so you can digest that a little bit more, or can click on the link and look at that in more detail about all of the findings from the Power Relationships survey. So one of the key findings that they took away from this is that there are many ways to grow the mentoring movement, and that we can so we can use this information from the research to recruit mentors. And so Tony's going to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, hi you all. This is Tony with Iowa Mentoring Partnership. I love this slide and all the slides about the power of relationships, because it just goes to show you that just when you're feeling kind of weary about your recruitment strategies, these are good slides to kind of remember why we love mentoring and why we love mentors in the first place, right? So mentors benefit from mentoring. I call this soft skills for the mentor and the mentee. And so mentors typically gain a sense of purpose and have a feeling that they're investing in the next generation. So here are some quotes. I love that many feel like it's a sense of purpose. They feel like they are making a connection. There's some, the quotes are kind of hard to read sometimes on the screen, but you get the idea that having a young person in your life, or if you are a mentee to someone, you're a mentee yourself, it's just really great to have that kind of relationship. So I'll just say the next slide if you guys can do that. The next slide, we can encourage informal mentors to volunteer in programs. So people who are informal, mentors, what we look at is these are people who are already mentoring, right, in some form or capacity, but maybe not in a structured program. I love how, it can be neighbors helping someone, playing basketball, doing art activities. But what I love here is that 19% don't know how to participate or get involved. And it says here 31% said they never thought about it. So sometimes in our mentoring programs, our structured programs, it's our consistency in recruiting that can help. We may not always see that every Thursday when we post something on social media, it doesn't look like someone's looking at it, or places we put stickers on coffee cups or table tents we put at community businesses. We just never know who's looking at those things. But this bit of statistics shows us that, a good 75% say they would consider mentoring in a structured program if they were asked, or they never thought about it. So sometimes we don't know if our efforts are working, but often they are. We just don't know when. And so we should just keep doing what we're doing, right? Keep trying to recruit because we just never know. The next slide, let's see here. See if I can move these, thanks. Improving youth education is one of the top reasons for structured mentoring program participation. So again, these statistics are just great reminders to me that that mentors definitely want to pay it forward. They want to leave things better than they found it. Maybe sometimes there are resources that they didn't have when they were smaller. So all of these things are really great information for us to keep in mind when we are thinking about mentoring and recruiting, because it helps youth become better educated. So here are some of the major reasons why people mentor. So these are great statistics. And again, we'll give these slides to you when we are done. But yeah, just good information for us to know. The next slide. Non-mentors also need more information to get involved. So this statistic shows that they don't know how to get involved. So again, our recruitment efforts, they may not seem like we're doing like, gosh, what's going on? But 26% don't know how to get involved. 22% didn't know the opportunity was even available. And then some of them are just waiting for us to ask them. So this is great information for us to realize that sometimes the constant and the consistency of us continuing to recruit or continuing to find ways to just get our name out there and to show how mentoring helps is the best way. Another way is flexibility in scheduling and paid off time. And so flexibility in scheduling and paid time off, to mentor would drive more consideration. So this just shows a statistic that flexibility so that I could mentor that works for me. So just even having flexibility in time is big, and that is connected to the corporate sector. They can make a huge difference in our mentoring efforts, right? So when an employer supports mentoring, according to this slide and the statistics here, that the percentage of individuals, informal or structured mentoring, triples in size. So when an employer just allows an employee to just even organically just be involved in the community in this way, you can see that it's a benefit for everyone.
And I think, Tony, I think the part is like just taking that excuse away from people. And I know that's harder sometimes in school-based and site-based programs where sometimes it has to be at, say, the lunch hour, right after school, that kind of thing. But when, if you do have options and you can offer that to folks, and obviously it's easier community-based, but, sometimes I think that's an excuse too. So it's like taking that away from them and giving them some other, some options too, and letting them know that you will support them in some of those things in the middle about the guidelines and the information that they want to feel confident in mentoring. You're going to provide that for them too, and letting them know that is, that's part of a good quality mentoring program.
Yes. Yep. That's true. Yeah. And so, one of the most effective recruiting methods, of course, right, is providing current mentors with a positive experience. We all want that because we know that when we have a positive experience, we're going to share it. And so this is just to emphasize the importance of a good matching process and comprehensive training for our mentors and ongoing support. And I know a lot of us on the call, we do monthly check-ins, and we, want to know how these matches are going and how things are succeeding. And I really believe that helps your current mentors stay engaged and the mentees to stay engaged when we're always trying to make sure that it's a positive experience every time.
Yeah, if they're going to be sharing in the community that they're mentoring, obviously we want them to be sharing a positive experience, which I know that you're providing. And I just want to go back. I think we skipped over a little bit about the corporate sector making a huge difference in mentoring rates. And it was mentioned a little bit in the last slide that obviously if employers give the paid time off, that's going to help. And if some of you have really great business partners and they do accommodate them to come volunteer in your program, and you know what a difference that can make, and just take away the corporate too. If you're not thinking like, I'm not in Des Moines and I don't have the big insurance companies, all those huge corporations, you have local businesses. And I know some of you have really good partnership, and there's some opportunity to form those partnerships too for some of those bulk, if we want to say, mentor recruitment opportunities and groups of mentors volunteering. And we'll talk a little bit more with National Mentoring Month, some engagement with corporations. So building your recruitment team with current mentors, I think most of you recognize that they are your best recruiters, and it's giving them specific tasks and specific ways to do that. Sometimes we just say, we want them to help, and we expect that they're out there talking and talking positively about your program, but giving them some specific ways to help. So programs have created a specific volunteer position, recruitment ambassador, and giving them specific tasks to do to be community liaisons for your program, whether that's speaking to groups, whether that's giving them talking points and materials that they share in their workplace. It can be your current mentors, or it could be former mentors, or a unique volunteer position if someone can't commit to actually being a mentor, that they could commit to this opportunity. So just make sure that you have very specific tasks. You guys have recruitment plans too. So give them some of those tasks on your recruitment plan. Make sure that you train all of your mentors to be a recruitment ambassador, whether you have this formal program or not. Another idea that programs have talked about before is giving business card to a mentor, and it can kind of be two ways: identifying themselves as a mentor, or it could be something they're handing someone else as saying you could be a good mentor. And I know that we've had programs that partner with the logo printer, and we'll do this at no cost to the program, as long as you have their logo on there as well as yours. Or you can, if you have print options in your own shop too, that you can print your own up and get those distributed in the community. Any kind of competition, if that appeals to your mentors and your board and staff, have some recruitment contests to see who can recruit the most mentors. Parents of participating youth, don't forget about them as far as ambassadors too, and being on your recruitment team. They're good talkers because they've seen the positive benefits for their own young person in the program. So you can create teams and designate a certain amount of time. That could be something during National Mentoring Month, or if it's back to school, whatever makes sense for your program and a time frame, and have some friendly competition between different teams. This one just seems obvious, but sometimes we just need to spell it out and explain to current mentors, and actually maybe provide an email template for them, or messaging for them, but making a direct ask to their contacts to be a mentor. And that's not just sending it to all your contacts, personalized message. It's easy enough to do. It could be a similar message to a lot of friends, but say the same thing: you would be a good mentor. And if you can include a description of a youth that's on your waiting list, that shows more appeal, that this is in particular what we're looking for, and how you would be a good match for this. And if you don't think you would be, to please forward this to someone who you think would be a good match for this young person too. So it's encouraging them again to use their contacts and to pass it on as well. So thinking about innovative mentor recognition, I think one of the unique things about this is thinking about thanking mentors where they are. We often have ceremonies when we gathered more in person. Think about back in pre-COVID times, so we had more of those gatherings, but we have an end of the year celebration, and we thank our mentors, or during National Mentoring Month, we have a ceremony and we pass out our mentoring certificates. But think about thanking them where they are. If you go to your place of work, you have the potential for their whole team or their business to become mentors as well. So think another place that folks have recognized them before, and is at churches, in church bulletin, or the pastor even thanking them from in front of the congregation, again going to where they are, and so it taps into their network also as a recruitment method.
Yeah, and I would say also, I love this picture of, mentors share match activities on social media. So show things that you do with your mentor every day is also a great way to connect with, your social media family, or as a mentor, their social media family. You just never know. It puts value added to the relationship, and it demystifies mentoring. I think the word mentoring, people think of it that they've got to do something grandiose or special. It just spells out just so clearly on social media some of the great things you can do. I know my daughter and we are getting together every I don't know what we're going to do. Every Saturday we're just going to post how we're making our hot chocolate recipes. I know this sounds crazy, but there's all kinds of hot chocolate recipes. So we're going to try a chocolate covered cherry hot chocolate recipe, and we're going to post it on Facebook, just me and her having a good time. And so even though it's my daughter, it's one of those mentoring relationships that I love and that we're going to enjoy. So I say this is bring a friend to a group event or to a mentoring session. So if you have a friend who's interested in mentoring, it's so good to invite them to see what your mentoring session looks like. If your program allows, those things to happen. Yeah, we want to make sure that things are good with screening and all of that. But it's so cool when you can bring a friend that you trust and all of that to see what mentoring looks like. So just a good opportunity to do that. I love this one. This is the door hangers. So back in pre-COVID days, right, we could put these on our door when we left work to go and meet the mentee. So gone mentoring, you'll be back soon. If it allows you, it's really great to do this also virtually if they let you. If you have a your calendar, you can say where you are, that you've gone mentoring. I think that is a great tool as well.
Val, I put in the chat, does that look familiar? Thank you for that idea.
And then I love match of the month. So just like schools have Star of the Month or Teacher of the Month or the Student of the Month, it's great on your social media or create a poster of a meaningful match. They can share when the match started and a unique relationship. And so you can show how they learn from one another. Val, did you have your hand up? You had a question? I don't know if she can take herself off mute, but.
It's her hand's down now, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so I imagine thumbs up, everything's good. So yeah, I love this idea. I just think that it just gives recognition not only to your program, not only to the mentor, but to the mentee as well. And in a relationship, I think sometimes we can often forget that this is a relationship between two people and a give and a take, and inspiring. And so I don't want to forget that word too when we talk about recruiting, is that we want to inspire people to put this meaningful thing in their life called mentoring. And why not make a yard sign? I think I got this idea from helping services, but it's great to have. I'm a mentor in my yard, and so I know Mentor National has some language for these, right, Mary? I think I can put this in the chat of Mentor Amplifies. They have an amplified campaign for I Am a Mentor, and that can definitely be put on a yard sign.
Yeah, you can use all their assets, and we'll have links to the National Mentoring Month, but don't forget that Amplified campaign. Oh, I see. I put up a bad example. I put the old in real life, but it said I am a mentor. Oh, so I put it up here. But don't forget their Amplified campaign, and there's directions to how you can customize that for your program as well. But also, I think this would be a great partnership too for someone to provide some in-kind sponsorship for you if they printed them, because they could have their name on that too, and they get some visibility for the business as well as for your program.
Yeah, this is just good info here. I just anytime you can put something in front of people so they can see in real time. So a yard sign's really nice. So we're big on yard signs where I am, with student activities and people supporting their high school and what sport they're in. So it's not uncommon. So I would love, it would be great to see I'm a mentor sign.
And much more fun to see an I am a mentor sign than campaign signs. Campaign season's
Right.
over right now, so let's take advantage of those empty-ish yards.
Right.
So let's pause for a minute and see what folks would like to share. Any idea that they've had success with their mentors recruiting other mentors that you'd be willing to share. And some of these looks very familiar. I gave a shout out to Val, and Tony gave a shout out too. And I know some of these other ideas in here came from programs. So if you want to talk more about anything that we shared as well, and tell about how you used it specifically with your program, so it's not us just saying it's a great idea, we welcome that as well. So just unmute yourself, please. Val, I can unmute you on this end, but we still can't hear, so I don't know what the deal is. Sorry.
So this is just super simple. Every time I do an orientation, I ask how they came to be mentored with our program. And pretty much every time that I have a new mentor say that they were brought on because of either one of our site coordinators or a mentor. So yeah, I just really encourage mentors to tell their friends and bring them on that way.
And Anna, specifically, that just means they're talking about a casual conversation, or like how are they are they asking them specifically to mentor? Or I don't know if you dig into that any further. You can explain. Thanks.
I think it's just they talk about it in casual conversation, and they are excited about what their friends are doing and want to do it too, or they want to see what it's about, and they inquire. So.
And so do you give specific directions to your mentors then on a regular basis, asking them to do that? Or how do you capitalize on that more then?
We say, and we send a newsletter out once a month, and we say we're looking for X amount of people at a specific site, and then so direct your friends if you have any that want to be mentors to me, and that pretty simple, but we do give specific targeted answers, but just basically send them. We say go to our website or email me to get more information.
Yeah, great. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Anyone else want to share specifics?
I know one thing that we do at Big Brothers Big Sisters is that we have annual fundraisers that we host. We have one called Plant Sale, and then we do Put Around, and then Over the Edge, just to name a few. But we have annual fundraisers that we do, and within that process, we have encouraged our bigs to sign up, our mentors to sign up and participate and help fundraise for the organization. And then on top of that, when they are in the process of doing that, we'll also have recruitment like opportunities for whoever they're inviting, or just like a list where people can put whether or not they're interested in becoming a big. And then upon that invitation list with our bigs, they normally bring friends or colleagues, co-workers and things of that nature. And then we recruit that way by extending the opportunity for them to put themselves on a list on being an inquiry for becoming a big or a mentor. So we do that annually. That's just one of the things. And we also used to have like a separate recruitment team in our enrollment division that also does the same thing.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Tramika. That's such a great reminder that not only are you asking your mentors to be involved because it's a fundraiser, but bring some others too. And it's putt-putt, or it's the plants, or it's bowling, that while they're engaging that fun activity, that you also make them think about how they could be a mentor as well. Felicia said, I wonder if we can move this conversation earlier in the year. Our team was just talking about how we need to plan sooner. I think for National Mentoring Month, perhaps I'll follow up with her. Yeah, I know we could talk about recruitment all the time. So if folks have different ideas about that too, preference for when, how often, how we're sharing information, we're open to that. Definitely. Thanks. I want to allow time if anyone else would like to share. Just like we want mentors to share and encourage, recruit other mentors, it's more meaningful if you share what's really you're doing in your programs, and instead of us just saying these are all great ideas, you guys share what's really happening and what's really working for you. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share?
Oh, one more thing I can add is that we just did this. Like, we're in need of male mentors, like tremendously. So we also partner with another agency in the area that has a similar program. They are engaging males, and they're looking for male mentorship. So they recently put together an event for which is called Real Men Mentor. And they had the mentors come, of course, or the mentors that were already established came, and then they brought people with them, or expanded the invitation to, they sent like a large list of invitations to partners and our board and things like that who could send the word out, and it was word of mouth, but they had a real mentor event that also caused for us to gain more male mentors. So, yeah.
Thanks, Tramika. Yeah, a great example of really targeted recruitment. And I think a lot of times we are looking for males, and to use males in that recruitment of other males, and use male images in if it's print campaigns, or use male voices if you're doing any kind of radio spot or audio spot too. Thanks. Val said she just recruited 7 mentors by having a booth at our downtown open house at a children's gift shop. Wow, interesting. I love it. Children, if you're shopping for kids, you like kids, and I recruited some mentors there. Great. Just a great example of just thinking about what connections you have in your own community, what makes sense. Well, we'll move on to some of the National Mentoring Month resources. We know that throughout National Mentoring Month, you guys do a lot of things, thanking mentors and mentees, but also trying to create awareness for your program. And a lot of times that awareness is trying to translate into financial support, as well as volunteer support in the form of mentors in particular. So just some reminders of what's out there for you to use, and some ways to use the resources. Don't forget how you can engage businesses and corporations during National Mentoring Month. There is a toolkit on the website for National Mentoring Month, where it gives you some ideas about business and corporate engagement. Don't forget to thank your business partners during that time. You can do that publicly, do that at the business too, so it reminds anyone that's not volunteering about the connection with mentoring for that business. There is a National Corporate Honor Roll, and I encourage you to nominate a business that support you by applying for that there. I don't know that we've ever had any Iowa businesses on a corporate honor roll. And again, it can be your local business that supports your program. It doesn't have to be thinking about some big corporation that, employs tens of thousands of people. The other thing, oh, I did not edit this. Is that terrible? The Give Back Iowa Challenge at the end. I just want to remind you about that. That's when we are tracking volunteer hours for businesses, and that is a great way to engage your business partners. To encourage, they get it's a competition, so you see what businesses, and it depends on their size, and see which businesses have the most volunteer hours for their employees. And so if you have a really good partner that volunteers mentoring, they're racking up some good volunteer hours. But it's a way to engage with them again and recognize them, but also maybe find some connection too. You have employers in your community that are probably connected with the Give Back Iowa, and see if they have a large volunteer program that they should be volunteering with your mentoring program as well. So all of you should be registered in the Mentoring Connector, which is the national database of programs. And just a reminder that the national media campaigns they direct mentors to that site. You should have just received an update from them as far as there's a new website, and it's gone through a lot of input gathering from programs and from affiliates, and so it's different. It's a different registration process when someone's looking to be a mentor. So the link is here, and just don't forget to do that update if you haven't yet. And that is also that is our connection to National Quality Mentoring System as well. But just make sure your program is updated there, and make sure you respond to those requests. Hopefully that update was kind of a reminder about that. Some programs don't always respond right away to that, or they've changed contacts. So if you're not sure about Mentoring Connector or what is our program in that, you're required to do that because you're connected with us. So if you're not aware of that, that means perhaps if you have an outdated email address or that, just reach out to me, and let's get you re-registered or reconnected, so that you're not missing out on those opportunities, because Mentor National does really do some great campaigns. And I say, even if you get a couple names a year, or you get one mentor out of it, for the 15 minutes it takes you, I don't think it's a bad use of your time either. So
go ahead, Maria.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just don't reinvent the wheel when you've got some great graphics and toolkits and things that you can use.
Yeah, so that's this.
I put it in the chat. I think I got
that's
it.
The mentoring connector. So I'll put the image relay folder is the
Yeah,
the graphics for
I think I
National
can post. I think I just posted it. Yep.
Okay, well, we have all the resources there then.
There
okay.
you go.
Yep. So just so this was easy for you, I mean, you can find this on Mentor National website too, and definitely go to the website, and all the toolkits are there as well. But this is another way just to get directly to all those images. On the website, they have a fun little wheel of engagement, I guess, and they highlight some ways to get involved for National Mentoring Month. But everything that you might want to use here in your campaigns is easily accessible. Tony, all yours.
Okay. Telling your story. So I say define your purpose for utilizing the campaign. So make it your own. This year, of course, it's, use the hashtag mentoring month, but also hashtag mentoring amplifies. And you can find all of that information, on at Mentor National in the toolkit, and promote mentoring program, your recruitment. Don't forget to call people to action to be a mentor. It's great to see all of the pictures, all the great things, but don't forget to do the ask, right? And direct them to your website. That is crucial for them to see what's going on in your community, and what's going on in their neighborhood is a good thing.
So now for non-recruitment, right, Tony? This is us recruiting you.
Right. So the National Mentoring Summit, you guys know, is January 27th and 28th. And for those, what I want to say is that to register for that, let's start with that at first, is tomorrow. Early registration is when you can get $50 off the discount. And so we just want to make sure that you register. If you're not going to go to Washington, definitely register to do it virtual. And January 26th is the virtual Capitol Hill Day. So we're excited about that. And Mary will talk a little bit more about that. But January 27th and 28th, and Iowa, we're going to convene in Des Moines to watch the summit. So I just want to encourage all of you to use the link to register. I think we have a SurveyMonkey I can post here in the chat that we're going to do the National Summit here in Des Moines in our offices at 1963 Bell. And we're just excited for us to get together, to network, to chat about, some of the issues or opportunities that are happening here in Iowa when we watch the summit together. It's a chance for us to finally get together. We've got a big enough space to social distance and all of that. So, and I'm looking forward to inviting some programs that might not know about Iowa Mentor for them to come for a little bit and get to know all of us. So anyway, it should be a great time. I'm looking forward to all of you. If you're not going to Washington and you've got some time, January 27th and 28th, to come and join us.
So the link is in the chat, and that's actually just asking your interest for that. So we're just trying to get some numbers, and we'll send out more information about that later. But we just thought it would be a great opportunity because we know everyone can't necessarily travel to DC to participate, and the networking is a huge deal. So if we could network in Des Moines, we'll take advantage of that. Does anybody have questions about that or want to know more about that right now? We can discuss. And your participation in those the virtual Capitol Hill Day with the our federal delegation is really huge for them to hear from local programs as well. You know, we do have OJJDP funding from the federal government, and we have some great support with our delegation right now. Representative Feenstra is leading, he co-led the Dear Colleague asked to be part of the Youth Mentoring Caucus, and he proposed some legislation with some adding mentoring into some youth workforce information too. So that was just exciting coming out of just our first meeting because he was just elected last year, but we have some great support from Grassley's office and Axney's office and a lot of the other Miller Meeks, we just connected with them with her too. So really want your participation in those calls as well. So we'll be reaching out for that. So the other thing we're going to do at the state level is just have a legislative forum hosting a call early in January that we will set up, and we'll be asking you to invite your local legislators because it will mean more coming from you, so we can provide information to them about local programs and how Iowa Mentor supports you, and they'll find out about what's going on in their own communities. Please look for a separate email. We're trying this, it's a little different. We've always participated in the Volunteer Iowa Day at the Capitol, and we're trying to make this stand out a little bit more during National Mentoring Month. And it won't be a day at the Capitol per se, but we will try to engage with legislators even before session. We won't have legislation for them, and our budget is just a one line item in the budget. So just talking with them before session, we thought might be more effective in this format. We could all do this together and talk with groups of legislators. So we're really hoping for your engagement with that to invite local legislators. So look for that and please help us out with that. And we will be doing a proclamation signing as well. And I know that's more accessible for folks that are closer because we don't always get such early notice about that, but we'll send that out, make sure that you can share the signing and share the proclamation as well. And there's language for proclamation with your local mayors or county commissioners, whoever else makes sense, local government. There's a template for that in the toolkit as well from International. And just another reminder about a way to recognize mentors is with our Excellence in Mentoring Awards. And so those nominations will be opening up, and the ceremony will again be this April at the Capitol. It's really great, really nice ceremony with the governor and lieutenant governor, and also is part of our Volunteer Iowa Awards that includes the Volunteer Hall of Fame. So these are really high level recognition for mentoring programs along with some other volunteer programs. So when you see that, really think about mentors that you have that are long-term mentors. The criteria are 2 years or more, but all of you have really dedicated mentors that are not just doing a really great job supporting a young person, but they also do a lot of other things for your program, things we've talked about, recruiting other mentors and fundraising and all of those other, serving on your boards and those kinds of things. So think about that. You all have deserving members, and I really encourage you to make some nominations for those awards. So we have talked a lot, talked at you. What else do you want to know about anything we've talked about, or questions for us or others on the call, or anything that you would like to share with the group from all of your wealth of experience? Well, I'm going to stop recording. And thank you all for joining us today.